That's some bogus made up by the government. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Taco Tuesday. Today we will be cooking taco. Oh. And a margarita or something. Margarita. Alrighty, let's get our ingredients out. First, we need our meat and my pink cutting board, taco shells, some cheese, tomatoes, onion. You know what they say about onions? Or ogres and onions? They both have layers. And finally, our taco sauce. It fits. Alrighty. So to start out with, let's go over to the stove top. Pan. Of course, ye old nice setting. Let me find the ham somewhere in here. Nope. 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 While I look for the ham, I gotta rehydrate. Nope. 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 Yep. Well, I found it. Alright, so now that you've thoroughly sprayed down the pan with Pam, you gotta take your meat, lean, 7% fat. Usually, I like to say, you gotta think of this like a man. If they have 7% fat, that's pretty low, right? So, like, if you were to eat them, or like, think of it as a human, not necessarily a man or a woman. If you got a really fit person, that was only, God. This is what happens when you throw meat in the freezer. It sticks to the bottom. Okay, but what was I saying? So, you gotta think of your meat like a human. The more fat, the better. Because you do want to eat like a chicken wing that has no fat on the bone? No. But today we're going on the more vegan side of the spectrum. Vegan. Pretend it's your standard high school couple, right? They're a little together, but like I'm gonna come in here with a spoon and break them up. Like, see how that's like... This is probably also why I should have defrosted it sooner.
Did you break up couples in your high school with a spoon?
Oh yeah, they used to call me the spoon boy, right? Funny story. When I taught at high school, you know, I was what we would call like a PE teacher, right? So PE teachers like don't really do anything. So like I'd sit there in PE class, letting these kids basically do whatever they want, because I honestly didn't care, right? If there's a couple that I saw, especially in the class, I have this massive wooden spoon. But I take this spoon at minimum, twice this size, right? So, or if I take this, it's probably like minimum, right? And I just go over there and use the spoon to, like, here, I'll demonstrate. So, pretend this is a boy and this is a girl. I'd come in with my comically large spoon and separate it, you know? Just like that. Speaking of which...
You do that to the students in your PE class that you taught in high school?
Yeah. Because PE is the most important class. Like, I cannot stress this enough. If you do not pass PE, you will die. Not necessarily because you didn't pass PE, but eventually. Even people that do pass PE eventually die, but not as soon. We're gonna let this cook for a little bit. See, look, I'm already separating more high school couples because what we say is there's no place for that in the Lord's presence in high school. So now that we kind of have our taco meat broken up here, like several pieces of taco meat, it's time to add the seasoning, or at least part of the seasoning. There's like different stages of when you add seasoning. This first stage is when it's like semi-cooked, broken up. Is the salt and pepper stage. Pepper, let me find the salt. Nope. So we got our sea salt, fine, like yourself, the viewer. Actually smells like oh, this doesn't supply iodine. Seasoning time. Now I like to season the spoon instead of the actual meat. You want to be very careful not to drop any of the seasoning actually on the meat. You getting that? See, and the reason you season the spoon, right, instead of the actual meat, is so when you mix it with the spoon, the seasoning rubs into the beef. Also add a little salt. Again, season the spoon. And then, you know, just sprinkle that over. And then rub it into the meat. I like to get this cooking a little bit more before we're going to add the final seasoning. As we wait for that, so our onion, we're going to take part of it quickly. And chop it up into tinier bits for the meat, right? No, a little leftover piece. Oh, this is delicious. The onion's pretty spicy today. Sometimes it's not, usually. But I would always recommend to test your onion. Actually, you probably want a little more. We're gonna continue to chop our onion into small pieces, right? Relative to the greater onion, or the ogre. Onions are like ogres. We're gonna go sprinkle this into the meat. As you can see, we have the onion in our beef. And, oh god. They really sometimes make you cry. I'm gonna stir the onion in there. And now we're gonna add a little more pepper. This time you can just add directly in because the spoon actually doesn't do anything. Tip of advice, you can never over season. It's quite literally impossible. But as you can see, the meat is almost done. We're gonna finish this off by adding the final seasoning. There are instructions on the back. You really don't have to follow those. So what you want to do is, our meat is pretty much done cooked. The final step is to add this seasoning. Just kind of dump it in there. You want to take your spoon and you want to mix that. This is what we call taco seasoning. Little known fact, taco seasoning was first invented before tacos actually. I was there. So the main gist is this one dude had a sandwich one day, right? With meat in it. And he was like, man, that's kind of bland. So what he did was he took some seasoning, they call taco seasoning, to put in a sandwich and make the first taco, which is actually just a sandwich folded to be like a taco shape. Like, you know how you fold your pizza sometimes? God darn it. To be like a taco shape? Same concept here. But with a sandwich. And he called that a taco, which was revolutionary back then. So then these people came up with what was called tortillas. Now, tortillas are relatively new. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. But tortillas basically are a piece of bread that's thin. Very foldable, malleable, movable, flexible, if you will, right? And then that's how the flour soft tortilla shell came into being. But anyhow, the Mexicans, they helped make the tacos. Or that's generally where they are known from. Well, known fact, they actually originated in Portugal. But then, the one day they were all like, this soft tortilla could be better. Like, life is good, but it could be better, right? And so they made what we would call hard shell taco, which I brought some. That's the history of the taco.
How do you know all this history?
I was there. It's raining tomato. Oh! We have our baby tomatoes. 2 per. These can go either in or out. Now, normally I would also have lettuce, although certain budget restrictions applied, and I was unable to get those. These are the hard tortilla shells I was talking to you about that came from the soft tortillas. And what you want to do is you want to scoop some taco to the hard tortilla. Now, you don't have to be stingy with the taco meat. In fact, you should probably pour in more than less. See, like, that is a hefty amount, right? That's a good amount. That's a healthy amount. But you could always make it more if you so desired, right? Like, that is a pretty good taco. And then what you want to do, tomato, and cheese, as the French say. The French are actually well known for the cheese. I should know, I am French. Bonjour, s'il vous plaît. Au revoir. Merci. So, these are tacos, Mexican cuisine. They be eaten at quinceañeras, which roughly translates to the 14th birthday. I think I'm getting that right. So, what they would do is that's when a young girl becomes a woman in Mexican culture, I believe. And I'm actually really hungry. Oh, that's pretty good. But anywho, my daughter actually had a quinceañera when she was 13, because she was mature for her age. I was like, you're 13, it's for 14-year-olds, you probably gotta wait a year. She was like, no, papi. that was a lovely dinner for a Taco Tuesday, ain't it? A bit brisk. Anyhow, as I am slightly full, because I ate almost all of that 93% lean, 7% fat beef, it is time for the evening glass of margarita. Now, the first step is, I need a bowl. Okay, margarita time. First things first. We gotta get a salt plane. So, as you can see here, I have my plate of salt. I actually took ocean water and dried it out in the landlocked state. Anywho, we're gonna take the cup. You gotta kind of wet it. I think that's right. What you wanna do is you wanna dip it in to get the salt on the end. Now this is big fancy time, right? You see how that's salted? I want a little more. That's what we call a salty cup. So, we have our glass salted on the rim. Next is 2 shots of white tequila, silver tequila technically. I measured this beforehand and it was about 4. So we're doubling everything up. Next we do over ice, but I have 0 clue what that means. So we're just gonna dump some ice in it. Now, I want to be careful here, so I'm going to hand insert that. Over ice. Actually, under ice in this case, because it's under. Or in ice within. Next, we're going to take a dab, a splash of lime juice. Several splashes, because we got to double everything up. Also, probably a splash of this. Or in this case, a lot. Perfect. And finally, a little bit of honey. Okay, perfect. And that is your margarita, my friends. Cheers.